In this presentation, we're going to look at searching the open web. Now, we pay for our databases, and so having access to those allows you to have access to information that you would normally have to pay for. That said, there are some really good things on the open web. You just have to know how to search for them. You would never want to start a project by searching for things on the open web, and you never want to make online sources your only sources for a research paper, but supplementing the resources that you find from databases and from the catalog with stuff from the open web can enrich your paper and make it a really good and well-rounded sourced paper. Okay, so when we talk about searching the web, there's two different kinds of search engines that you can use. One is a single site and the other is a meta search. And a single site is what you're used to if you use Google, which you probably do, most people do. Single sites use their own algorithms. They develop algorithms to search the entire internet for results, or a good portion of the internet for results. So that's Google, and that's Bing, or Yahoo, or some of the other single sites that you may use. A meta search engine does not develop its own algorithms. What it does is it uses a bunch of other single search engines to search for even more results. So when you're searching something like dogpile.com or mama.com, what you're really doing is using Google, Bing, Yahoo, and probably several other single search engines at a time to search for information. So we learned about using Boolean operators and other ways to search catalogs and databases. So they require keywords to work. They don't accept natural language, and we talked about this. So we can't type a question into the catalog like who is the president of Bolivia, because you won't get anything back, because it won't understand that you don't really want all of those words in your results. But search engines, they allow for the use of natural language, and they do that by ignoring filler words. So here's an example that I have. Who is the president of France? Oh, I said Bolivia a minute ago. Okay, so who is the president of France? If I type who is the president of France into Google, then what it's going to do is it's going to ignore the vast majority and probably only look for the terms president and France. And so it'll completely ignore who is the and all of those filler words or less important words, and probably I'll get millions of results all about Nicolas Sarkozy, the president of France. There are ways to make Google perform like a database, and that's using the Google Advanced Search. So I'm going to click on this and go to the Google Advanced Search page. Okay, so you can click and get right here from my PowerPoint, or from Google's homepage. They have, let's see, under more, even more, there's some options here for different types of searches. Also, if you go to Advanced Search, there are ways of using Boolean operators here. You see they have Boolean operators. And then if you really wanted something that was called what is the president of France, or who is the president of France, you could type who is the president of France, and it will search for those words here under all these words, this blank here. Also, see, if we go to About Google, there's this link that says Google Web Search Features, and these are some tricks for searching Google's search engine. If you type in weather and the name of a city, it'll give you the weather in that city. That's a cool thing. If you need to find out the time in a different time zone, you can type in time and the name of a city. And then here you can use it, shows you how you can use Google as a calculator. So if you don't have a calculator on hand, you can just type in a calculator function and Google will convert it for you. Here, I'll show you right here. They have this little equation, and see, it's come up with 76.6. I have no idea if that's the right answer, but I trust Google. To get search for books, this is very helpful. So you can do a Google book search by typing in the name of an author, and most likely this is going to be better for people who are no longer under copyright, so people who published 100 years ago or more. Unit conversion, so that's really helpful. And then this can be extremely helpful when you're looking for terms to search for and looking for keywords. So you can do a synonym search where you put the little tilde mark, the wavy line, in front of a term, and it'll search for synonyms. So if I search for fast food, probably I'll also get things about junk food here. So that's a really good trick to use for Google, especially if you are searching for terms like teenagers. There's a million different words for teenagers, adolescents, juveniles, all kinds of stuff. So this can be very helpful. There's the spell checker. This can be really helpful. The health conditions and medication searches. So if you want to type in the name of a drug and hit search, the first result is going to be the Google result from the National Institute of Health on that drug. So that's a really good way to get quick information about a drug. And here at the bottom, some really important, some query refiners. So if you want to make Google search for a throwaway word like and or any other word that is Google considers a throwaway word, most of the small ones, then you can type in the plus sign before it and Google will search for it. Also, you can type in related and a colon, and it will find related things. So this is related to CNN. So they have now that they have a list. Here you go: Fox, ABC, MSNBC, CBS News. So it finds a bunch of stuff that it thinks are related to CNN. And then the last one, this kind of works like a truncation. If you add an asterisk to the part of a sentence, then Google will finish the search for you. Isaac Newton discovered asterisk, Isaac Newton discovered gravity. Isn't that cool? I don't know if y'all knew that Google had all these different options. It's a whole lot of really super fun options to make your searches better and easier. Okay, there's also Google Scholar, which is a way to search for articles, and google.com/Uncle Sam is the Google, here I'll click on that. If you go to google.com/Uncle Sam and you type in a search term, I always use pediatric nursing, but here we go. You will only get results from government agencies. And so that's really cool that so you can search only government publications by going to google.com/Uncle Sam. Okay. So there are a bunch of other search engines, and I'm going to go through a couple of these and show you some of these because I want you to know that Google is amazing, but there are other things on the internet that you can go to and other search engines that you can use, and you might get a lot of the same results as you would if you use Google, but you can get a lot of different ones as well. Okay, so I'm going to open up a browser here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Bing.com, and Bing is one that you may recognize. It always has a pretty picture here, and it has a couple of different options. You'll notice though that basically it looks a lot very similar to Google. And one of the things that is really cool about this is that they have these related searches up top as opposed to down at the bottom, like Google does. There's also one called Go.com that's on my list. Oh, DuckDuckGo, I typed in the wrong thing, sorry. But it knew what I was looking for. So you can see it has a very similar user interface as Google does. And here they have a bunch of different options for you, and it tells you what kind of page we're looking at. So if you're looking at the Wikipedia page, it shows you right here. Let's see, there's also search.caret2.org. This is a meta search site. So you can see this is a little bit different. They have show in clusters. And these are the tree over here that they have. So they've divided up all of these results into different clusters and different topics. So if you see one of these topics that seems to work better, you can click on that. And then if you decide that you only want images, you can click on that. If you only want news, this is really cool. You can click on news. And then if you only want results from PubMed, you can click on PubMed. It's taking a little while, but there it is. So that's a really cool search engine. One more. Yeeble, and these are all on my PowerPoint. I know I'm going through them quick. Okay, you can see this one looks very different. It's got the beginning of your images, so it gives you a sneak peek at the images. They have related searches here, and then they have the top sites where this information comes from. You can get Twitter feed, the news, and it's all here on the results page, and some videos. So that looks really cool, and you can go through with your topic and decide which one works best for you.